Welcome, welcome, hello. Welcome to Yoga for Recovery. Monday it is, there's actual heat in Wisconsin today. I'm in shorts, it's a beautiful thing. I rode outside all weekend. I hope that you also had a chance to get outside and enjoy some riding or running or whatever you're doing. Yoga for Recovery on Monday nights at 7:30. We do this every Monday. It is also part of the Yoga for Everyday Endurance Athletes program that we have online. Every Monday, I do a different pose or poses, and today we're going to be focusing on one in particular. And the pose is meant to help you recover or speed along or aid your recovery by essentially creating more blood flow. That's a very simplistic way of talking about it, but that's the idea, is that we're just trying to create more movement so that we are able to recover better. And you can see that I'm on my knees right now, and if you read my introduction into tonight's pose, it is on my list of the top 3 poses I hate the most. And I hate them because they're just challenging for my old man body, that I just don't move very well. And this is one of them, the frog pose. And to set up frog, you have your knees as wide as you can. So usually, if your mat is long, you're going to set it up lengthwise like this. And then your feet are going to be pointing out. And the idea is that they are like frog legs. All right? So, my hips are already yelling at me. So my knees are as wide as we go. Bend over so that your hands are down on the mat. And if you are more flexible than others, you will eventually be able to get your, well, not even flexible, but you may be able to get your elbows down on the mat, which is just a little bit easier on your wrists. And I'm going to turn sideways in a second so you can see what I'm doing. But essentially, all that frog is getting your hips in this position, and then on the exhale, just sitting backwards. And you're not going to be able to go very far. The inhale is coming forward. The exhale is coming backwards. So you're going to feel this on the inside of your thighs, in the inside of your hip joints, in your hamstrings, and in your glutes. So it's pretty much your entire hips. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what we're doing. So it's inhale, coming forward, and then exhale, rolling back. Inhale up, and exhale back. And then we're going to do this for a little while. And we are going to do a counter pose to this at the end. But it's mostly just to do something different that's not stressing out our inner thigh, the stabilizer muscles. So this is an incredibly good mobility and opening pose for runners and cyclists because we are always moving forward for the most part. Sometimes trail runners, you'll have some side to side movement. This particular pose opens up all the stabilizers and opens up all those parts of us in our hips that are just tight. It's really important that you don't push hard. That you'll know, there's not a lot of movement in some of these muscles that we're trying to lengthen. I say that with quote marks around the word lengthen because we're trying to just stretch them and open them up so that they are there's more stuff happening in them. The more I learn about anatomy and physiology, the more complicated explanations become. And you realize that the common word of stretching doesn't really apply, but it's understood. And then every once in a while, like just happened, you get a little opening. And so I'm able to just kind of move a little bit better. And I'm going to bring my feet in just a little bit more so my heels are a little bit closer together just to change some of the angle. And yes, we're just going to keep doing this pose, and that's kind of the idea of yoga for recovery, is that we just pick a couple of poses, and like a yin yoga kind of pose, we just hold it and we get the most out of it that we can. When we do the regular yoga for everyday endurance athletes, when we do those classes, we tend to hold a pose like a warrior one or a crescent lunge for longer periods. Not this long, but the idea there is that we are trying to build some strength and trying to build some mobility. And every once in a while, you just get a little extra and it's like, oh, it's opening. But just focus on your breathing. So the inhale is here, into your nose if you can, into your belly of breath. And then just let the air out from your belly as you gently sit back. And you can see this is, you can get your elbows down. And it creates a little bit of a different angle. And at some point, you're going to realize that you're just not moving anymore. And I'm almost getting to that point. And just keep gently moving. So I'm feeling this everywhere from my inner thighs into my psoas, in between my hip bones, into my glutes, into the hamstrings. And there is a certain point where it just gets uncomfortable. We're also getting to that point. So our yoga for everyday endurance classes, everyday endurance athletes are 6 a.m. tomorrow morning on Tuesdays. So if you can get up, it's a 30-minute class. We're done in 30, sometimes 25. All right, I'm going to come up now. And just come up slowly, for goodness sake, come up slowly, because you have just been in this very awkward pose. And we're going to do just a bit of a camel pose. So my feet are just normal now. I'm just going to put my hands in the low back and just lean back a bit on the exhale, just to kind of pull open a little bit of the front. And we'll just do this for a second or two. And then the other yoga for everyday endurance athletes is on Thursday at 6 p.m. Different classes. First class is on me. Use the code EverydayYoga to sign up at the simpleendurancecoaching.com website. And then it's cheap as heck to come in. It's like $8 a class. I just want people to come and do this. All right, let's get on our backs, because I know how much this helps my old man's body with a lot of broken bones and a lot of scar tissue. So on your back, knees are up, bring your feet wide, and I'm going to turn around sideways so you can see this again. But what we'll do, hands will be on your side. We're going to inhale, and then drop our knees over to the left. But what we're really trying to do is take your right knee and drop it towards your left ankle. So you'll feel this on the outside of your hip. Then inhale, up, and exhale, drop your knees over to the right, but what you're really focusing on is dropping your left knee to your right ankle. And again, you'll feel this on the outside. So just go at your own pace. So it's inhale and then exhale. So my right butt cheek is coming off the mat, but my shoulders and arms stay on the mat. And then exhale down. And really focus on using your breath to guide the movement. So then inhale when you're done with your exhale. Start to inhale, bring your knees up. And then when you're done with the inhale, exhale, and just let your knees start to fall. And then inhale when you're done with the exhale. We'll do this a few more times. And that's all we do on Yoga for Recovery. It's just a couple of minutes, right around 10 at the most. Our primary focus is usually our hips. And sometimes we get in our back and shoulders as well, like with a child's pose. But since our hips are usually the ones that are the problem, well, are the challenge, that's what we work on. All right, that is it. Thank you for joining us for Yoga for Recovery from my garage studio. Again, Tuesday mornings, 6 a.m., Thursday evenings, 6 p.m. Come check out the website at simpleendurancecoaching.com for coaching information. I have an interesting blog that's going to be happening on Wednesday about periodization. I've been doing a lot of research and reading and studying about building training programs, so you'll be sure to check that out. Every Wednesday a new blog comes out when you're signed up for the website. All right, take care, have a good night. See you tomorrow morning, I hope.